Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pantry Raid Week 3, the show that I'm doing from my living room because it is Corona out still, and I don't want to be out in it. So I brought some of my friends in. We're going to do some jokes, and we're going to talk about snacks, which is the best part about being able to do shows from your house. My fridge is right there. I can pop into it anytime, and that is the beauty of doing this. So welcome. My name is Amma Marfo, and I am very, very excited for this lineup. This is a great, great, great group, and you are going to love them as well. Let's see what's going on. I mean, one of the things I like most about this particular lineup is how intergenerational it is. It's a lot of people that have been doing comedy for a little while, it's people that have been doing it for a long time, everybody in between. And we're having a lot of conversations about kind of intergenerational stuff as a society. So I'm in my mid 30s, which along that generational line classifies me as a murderer. Sorry, it classifies me as a millennial. I'd be forgiven for getting those confused because people regularly talk about millennials as murdering industries, which I'll tell you this as someone who 10 years ago split her chin at a wedding, the scars right there, and people just kept partying. I was bleeding from the bottom of my face and people just kept partying. I can't even kill a vibe, let alone kill an industry. So I really don't think I can be held responsible for any of the things that millennials supposedly killed. I know paper napkins came up as a piece of that. Like there was legitimately an article of people complaining about millennials don't buy paper napkins anymore. Listen, minimum wage has been the same for 30 years, and I need to buy toilet paper, paper towels, and paper napkins. One of those just had to give. That's just where we are. We got accused of killing like fast casual restaurants like Applebee's and Chili's. I didn't kill Chili's. I won't participate in that. Chili's killed itself, and if it's 2-for-1 Margarita Tuesdays or any indication, it did it by drinking itself to death. That had nothing to do with me. And so much of the stuff that people keep saying millennials killed, I don't think we're responsible for. But there is one that I will see. We haven't killed it yet, but we will. Antiques Roadshow. We're going to kill Antiques Roadshow. It's just not going to be worth it by the time our stuff becomes antiques. So, for those who aren't familiar with it, Antiques Roadshow is a show on PBS where someone plays jaunty clarinet music as they travel around the country with people that appraise things that you would find in your house. So art, sometimes antique clothing, furniture, things that people would like pay money for antiques wise. And now there's really cool stuff. So you'll see like old maps or like tickets to older events, think artifacts that people have from like old presidential campaigns and all of these things. Who's going to want our stuff? Truly. Like what? No, it's going to get awful. Now, it's going to get really good before it gets bad. That much I promise you. Like when we get to Cabbage Patch Kids on Antiques Roadshow, awesome. I'm going to love that. Beanie Babies, yes, that's going to be dope. That's going to be appointment television, and that's going to be amazing. But eventually we're going to get into like Live, Laugh, Love, reclaimed wall art, and the rare Billy bookcase that survives multiple moves, which, by the way, if you're buying Billy bookcases from IKEA and you're stressed out about how to move them properly, just treat them as disposable. IKEA bookcases are disposable. And if that like frees a weight off your soul, you're welcome. Don't even bother trying to keep it. But yeah, it's just going to keep getting worse and worse until finally it's going to be all Jordans and like various limited edition Lily Pulitzer prints. And like, that's not going to be interesting. PBS is probably going to pull out at that point. It's going to end up being on Fuse or like some random YouTube channel. It's not even going to be public broadcast supported at that point. So we haven't killed it yet. But when that time comes, that I will say we did do. That I'll take responsibility for. But in the meantime, we have comedy and we have snacks. And we're going to get into this. So our first comedian is Steph. And I'm going to bring her up. Steph, hello.
Hello. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so glad. Welcome to my house. It's a mess back there, but you can't see.
Welcome to my house. This is a real brick background. It's not a Zoom comedy background. I
It
like to
just feels like
clarify
a bit. It feels like you picked a place appropriate for comedy and we're like, I gotta live here if this is gonna be what I'm doing.
that. I moved in on March 6th, 2020, right at the
Oh,
beginning of the pandemic. So
ooh,
it's
so you were ready to do comedy at home.
so it did feel a little bit predestined, yes.
Like, good thing I have a wall for this because I can't do it outside for a while.
Exactly.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, I'm gonna leave you all to Steph. Enjoy. I'll be back in a little bit and then we'll talk snacks.
Oh, thank you, Amma. I am so excited to be here because snacks and comedy is like the power combo of my dreams. Thank you, Amma. But a little about me. I'm mixed race. I'm Vietnamese and Jewish. And I realize I don't look Vietnamese or Jewish. I just look like a before photo of a Kardashian. Like, picture if they didn't do lip fillers and hadn't discovered detox tea yet. Um, but I am mixed race. My mom is Vietnamese. And so growing up, we did a lot of our grocery shopping in Vietnamese markets. And I don't know like how crunchy this crowd is, but like if you've never been to a Vietnamese market, go, okay? You don't need Costco. Everything you need is at the Vietnamese market. Shrimp chips and knockoff Gucci wallets. All in a space the size of a janitor's closet. Yeah. Like the other day, I walked through 3 aisles of fish sauce trying to find a $10 rice cooker. I ended up getting my taxes done. And I think that for me, a Vietnamese grocery store wins like any day over a Whole Foods. Okay. Like, can we even call Whole Foods a grocery store anymore? I don't think so. I think Whole Foods is just a spiritual retreat. You like walk in and they make you a kale smoothie and lead you in an ayahuasca ritual. And then there's some white chick with tribal tattoos named Friendship. Her only job is to cleanse your aura with sage. And like, you'll never find that at a Vietnamese grocery store, but I do think you'll find something better. 2 for 1 mangoes and a bunch of old ladies who will stab you for them. Like, you can pay with your life, and that's how they keep the prices so low. I'm biracial. I'm also bisexual, or as my parents tell me, I'm part-time gay. I think people have this image in their head of bisexuals. They think that we're like indecisive, that we like can't make up our mind. And like, I just want to be very clear. I am not undecided. Okay. Like, I'm double majoring. I tried to come out to my parents recently, went right back in. This is like my dance. I keep like trying to come out, going back in, trying to come out, going back in. I'm like a sexually fluid groundhog. I like pop my head up to say hi and then I'm like, oh no, it's still winter. Too many conservative snowflakes. Just gonna go back underground with my Megan Rapinoe poster. My mom, she's not actually from this country. Like, English is not her first language. So she doesn't think that I'm bisexual. She thinks that I'm bisectional, like a sofa. And like, honestly, I think she's onto something, like I could sexually identify as a couch, like often covered in potato chips, frequently seen at IKEA, about 2 hours and a special tool to screw me. One thing I've been doing a lot in the pandemic is I've been cooking a lot more. I love cooking. One thing I've been trying to do is I've been trying to, like I have all my mom's old family recipes, so I'm trying to recreate them. So we've been cooking together a lot, my mom and I. The thing is, it's very difficult when your mom thinks that a fingernail is a valid unit of measure, like no metric system, no imperial system, just mom's system of what feels right. I thought we'd start out simply, so we started by making soup. And I was like, okay, mom, like how much salt do we add? Like, and she was like, I don't know, a handful or 2 or 3, whatever. And like, Which is it? That seems like a big difference. One or two. Also, our hands are very different. Like, you have little hobbit hands. I could palm a yoga ball with mine. My mom also keeps telling me, like, like she's trying to reassure me. She's like, it's so easy. Like, you'll get it. Like, yes, this is very easy. To make this fucking soup, I just have to make 3 trips to the grocery store, get like an entire farm's worth of livestock, boil a beef carcass for 8 hours. Like, what else do I have to do? Like, summon an elder god, call upon my ancestors. I think the most unhelpful thing that my mom told me is that, like, oh, you know what the secret ingredient is? It's love. Okay. How much love? Quarter cup, a dash, like 3 fingernails worth. What if I don't have any love on hand that day? Can I sub in anxiety and existential dread? Will the soup taste the same? But yeah, my mom is Vietnamese, my dad is Jewish. I was raised Jewish, 100% Jewish. It's interesting though, because I feel like when I talk to other Jews, I'm always trying to like prove how Jewish I am, like every time I meet another Jew, I'm always like, I'm also Jewish. Like, I have a bat mitzvah, 15 years of Hebrew school, and several neurological disorders. Like, what else do I have to do to prove I'm Jewish? Do I have to get irritable bowel syndrome? Because I'll do it. I actually used to belong to this synagogue, and the rabbi, he didn't think that I could be both Vietnamese and Jewish. He didn't think I was really Jewish. So he tried to hire a private investigator to do a background check on me to see if I was really Jewish. What is a Jewish background check? Like, are they going to go through my trash, and if they find like Wonder Bread instead of challah, that's it? Or they start like calling my references and they find out that I'm a consultant and they're like, oh no, she's definitely Asian. Like, if she were a real Jew, she'd be an accountant. Like, what do you do for a Jewish background check? Is a good FICO score not enough? Also, like, obviously I'm Jewish. Who's pretending to be Jewish? Like, if someone is trying to infiltrate this religion, we should let them in. It is not glamorous. Like, you can't even eat cheeseburgers. Every century or so, someone new hates us. Like, if anything, we should be sexing this religion up a little bit. Growing up in a mixed household, it was really interesting. It was fun. But it did lead to some like interesting like culture clashes. Like, for example, my mom used to make me sleep with a knife under my pillow to scare away murderous Vietnamese ghosts. And all of my friends. It made sleepovers very interesting, like my friends would be like, I brought my unicorn stuffed animal, and I'd be like, I have my ghost knife. When's the slumber party start? I used to take a lot of shit for my ghost knife. People didn't get it. They thought it was weird. But like, I'm calling it now. I think that mainstream America is going to make Vietnamese ghost knives the next like hippie wellness trend, like golden lattes, sriracha, Vietnamese ghost knives. I have to be honest, like I think that like Gwyneth Paltrow is like really going to latch onto the ghost knife idea, like we're going to see like Vietnamese ghost knives on like Gwyneth Paltrow's lifestyle blog, like right next to, I don't know, breast milk lattes and like a quartz crystal that doubles as a tampon. I don't really know what a knife is supposed to do against a ghost, except go through it. But I do know that these ghosts, okay, they're very vengeful, they're very petty. And now that they're dead, they're like, it's open season, bitches. And they'll kill everything. You, your family, your sourdough starter. My mom called me the other night and she was very panicked. And she was like, Steph, like, you got to start sleeping with your ghost knife again. Like, because she was like, I had this vision that there is this ghost man who was trying to abduct you and make you his ghost wife. I know, it's crazy. someone wants to marry me. Like, why am I scaring him? I need to trap him, okay? Like, fuck the knife. Tonight, under my pillow, I'm sleeping with Hennessy, Sports Illustrated, and half a sandwich, okay? I'm going to catch myself a ghost husband. Anyway, that's all I got for today. So great to be here. Thank you so much, Amma. Back to you.
Well, back to us, because now we get to have the main event conversation.
I'm so
So
excited.
let's talk snacks. What is your tightly held opinion that you want to use this venue to spread to the world?
Amma, I want to thank you for giving me this platform to extol the virtues of American cheese, sliced American.
Okay.
I believe it is a snacking cheese. I snack on it, and like I realize like it's not like, you know, like I do like food. I like to think I have good food tastes. I love a brie, I love a cheddar, whatever, but like there's something so nostalgic about American cheese. I eat it by the slice. I sandwich it between potato chips, which I realize which is very gross and trashy, but it is a couch cheese. It is a lounging snack cheese, in my opinion.
Is that the cheese that Liz Lemon was referring to when she was talking about night cheese? Because I
Working
don't
on
know
her
that
night
she
cheese.
specified.
I don't know. That seemed like more of a Velveeta situation, and like I'm not there yet. I'm not at that journey in my quarantine or my cheese tastes.
I mean, we still got time, so
That's true. But
all
I
right.
do like that American cheese. Like I feel like Liz was like really working on a block of cheese, and I like that American like it slices, you know, and work at my own pace. I can sandwich it with a meat. I can put it on a cracker. It makes a really good melty grilled cheese. It tastes like vaguely of plastic, which is like, I don't know, pure
That's the most American
Americana.
thing about it. It's
Yeah,
reliance on plastic for flavor and packaging.
especially when it comes in like those pre-wrapped singles. Yes.
All right. So Steph is coming out publicly pro American cheese.
Very pro-American cheese. It deserves to be, in my opinion, on a charcuterie board.
Ooh, that's
Maybe
a
like
strong,
a Trader.
that's a strong stance.
Maybe like a Trader Joe's charcuterie board. Like, let's not get too crazy, but
Okay,
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
See, I regret my lack of proficiency with graphics because it feels like you need like a waving American flag behind you with this take. But we can all imagine it. We're an imaginative.
Yes, that's my most American stance, that I like American cheese.
Fantastic. Well, Steph, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing it. Thank you for coming out publicly in its favor. Somebody had to.
Thank you for creating a safe space to do so.
Anytime.
I appreciate you. And this was so fun. Thanks so much for having me, Amma.
A pleasure having you. Thank you so much for being here. All right. So next up, we have Mary, who I had the opportunity to meet. They host a Mike in Boston, Fresh Hot Buns, and there's also a weekly show there as well. And it's such a fun space. So I'm glad to bring the purveyor of that fun into this space. Mary, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is so cool. I haven't done Zoom comedy like ever. This is so cool.
Really? You've managed to avoid it this whole time.
Yeah, I didn't think I would be good at it, and I think I'm about to confirm that. But that's okay.
I think it's gonna be great.
Yeah, I've got my room looks cool from this angle, so it's fine.
It does. Like that's an A+ background for this kind.
Thank you so much.
All right, I'm gonna leave you to tell us some jokes, and then we'll come back and talk snacks.
All right. Okay. So what's up, guys? My name's Mary. It's been a weird, hard day today because my girlfriend went to go home for 10 days, and 10 days is a long time based on like the regular calendar, but the regular calendar is made for straight people, so that's like a month and a half in gay time. And I'm not looking forward to it. I like to do gay stuff with my girlfriend, like I like to hold hands. I think that's fun. I like to hold hands because it's like anytime we do it, I'm like, whoa, like this is illegal. Not here, but like other places. Like this is crazy what I'm doing right now. So now I have like, I feel like it's like kind of like dangerous, and I have this like fantasy now where like me and my girlfriend, we get to hold hands in front of Qatar, and then Qatar's like, no, cut it out, and like we do it anyway. But yeah, I have a really fun bit with my girlfriend where like we'll be hanging out with like a group of people, and I'll make a joke about me having Tourette's, but I'll do it like subtly, and I won't explain it to anyone else. So only my girlfriend gets it. And I did it the other night. Someone said their favorite candy was a Crunch Bar, and I went ew, and then I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. And this girl who was there was like, no, you just didn't mean to say it out loud, you meant it. And I was like, well, yeah, but I'm allowed to say stuff out loud accidentally whenever, it's like my thing. And everyone got really confused except for my girlfriend, who thought it was like so funny. She did not think it was funny. She didn't really react at all. She gave one of those laughs where like you're like hosting an open mic and you're trying to get the show moving and people are being polite. But it was a joke. I only said for them. So it was kind of a betrayal. It reminded me of the time that one time I said that we were like stepbrothers, and my girlfriend was like, ew, that's gross. And then they were doing a set, and she mentioned that we were like stepbrothers in the bit. And I was like, wow, so you stole my incestual gay brother joke. That's like some next level shit, man. I am usually like pretty like depressed, and my newest like way of dealing with it is like I like to think about all the good things that I have going for me right now. And part of that is my relationship, especially because like my girlfriend's a really cool person just generally, but compared to like other people I have dated, it's like insane. Especially my most recent boyfriend. So whenever I'm sad, I like to be like, man, it could be worse. Could be dating a guy who once specifically told me that he would never love me as much as he loved his mom, or like could be worse. Could be dating a guy who cheated on me multiple times, but it's okay cuz it was with the boys. Or like could be worse. Could be dating someone who plays Emerson College lacrosse. And I think it's cool that that guy managed to do all of those things at once. But yeah, I think like it's important to note that these things like they get better, you know? Like this Christmas, my girlfriend like had one of my favorite singers record a special version of a song with lyrics that she wrote just for me. On our 6-month anniversary, my ex-boyfriend, I made him a cake, and he was like, cool, I'll come over later. And then at 3 a.m, he texted me and he was like, hey, not gonna make it tonight, busy booling with the boys. They progress, and I think that that's nice. Dwayne Johnson posted a picture of him and Jeff Bezos, and he said that him and Jeff Bezos were drinking buddies, and that was really disappointing to me because like I know that he's like a famous person and I don't know him at all, so like it doesn't, my perception of him is obviously warped. But from what I know about him, like I've seen him in like Disney shows, and he was like a very vulnerable man in a Hannah Montana episode. I never would have thought that that was what he would support. Like I have always thought of him as a champion of the proletariat. Dwayne Sickle and Hammer the Rock Johnson, I like to call him. I have been going to college now. I am now a super senior for eating disorder therapy, year 5, baby. Let's go. I have a bunch of eating disorders. I got bulimia, I got body dysmorphia, I have eating disorder not otherwise specified. That one sounds made up. I've had eating disorder not otherwise specified for like 12 years. Someone should have taken the time to specify by now. And it's fucked up because eating disorder not otherwise specified is not like a complicated thing. It's basically like you do anorexia things, but you aren't clinically underweight, so they can't classify you as such. Do you have any idea how difficult it is to know that your eating disorder should be called amateur anorexia, but the people at AA took that from you? So instead you have EDNOS, which sounds like erectile dysfunction specifically for the nucleus of spheres. The nucleus of spheres, by the way, it's a location in Dungeons and Dragons or D&D. Dungeons and Dragons is a role-playing game, or RPG. Let me know why, of all those acronyms I just said for the nerdiest shit in the world, eating disorder not otherwise specified is still somehow the lamest fucking one. My like main gripe with the way the media handles eating disorders is like definitely the eating disorder movie, because they're all like exactly the same and they all end in the same way. And it's like this. It's always like a small woman sits at a kitchen island like shivering, and she's sitting in front of a plate of like grilled chicken, and she cuts up the chicken like really small, and then she takes like one single bite of the chicken, and as she chews and swallows, like a tear rolls down her cheek, and it's this moment of triumph for her. And then the movie ends and she's fixed, and like that's the thing, and that's just like not the reality of the situation. Eating disorders are so much more than that. Like, it's not about eating a tiny piece of chicken one time and crying about it. It's about violently shitting all the time and everywhere. I have shit myself as an adult, I think more than I did as a child. Because you just never know if it's coming or going, honestly. I also don't like the way it's always like a piece of grilled chicken, and it's like really grilled lean meats for the anorexic girl. That's not what they feed you. Let's be a little bit more realistic about this. She's gonna eat half a peanut butter sandwich. It's gonna take her an hour to do it, and she's gonna cry the whole fucking time. Thank you. Yeah, I think that is about all that I had. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here.
Sure.
As Kathy pointed out in the chat, like all of the movies are in fact the same. I have seen all of them. They usually involve either dance or gymnastics or some other thing of that nature. And having done both, that was hard for me as well. But yeah, man, they've got a formula going.
Yeah, it definitely helps people.
I mean, I don't know. If nothing, we got to see like an actor that we'd never see do that before, like take on a different role, like Kimberly the Power Ranger in their darkest performance yet, or something.
Dude, all of the Power Rangers have eating disorders.
See, no one's talking about that. Like,
no
they have
talking about it. It's a fact though, because they got to fit into those little suits.
It's revealing, and like you don't always know what to do with those feelings.
It's true.
Now, with that said, let's talk snacks. What do you got for us?
Well, I don't know that I should have saved this for right after my last joke, but I do enjoy peanut butter straight from the jar.
Okay.
I like it in a jar because it can't get away from you, even though it tries, and then you have to like fight it a little bit, especially towards the end, because you really got to go for it scooping wise, but it's trapped. It's your peanut butter. You can freeze it. That's crazy.
So I'm in that right now. Like, this jar is nearly done. We're very close. But
Yeah.
like, how do you? No one's invented the tool to.
I mean, you're gonna have to do some scraping, but like, you're still gonna manage to get it. Is the thing.
I mean, I'm gonna put in the work. That much I promise you.
I believe you.
Thank you. We both of us can do this. We've got it.
I mean, mine is full, but not for long.
Not for long. You've got the attitude to work through it. I believe it.
Thank you.
Now, what is your go-to vehicle? Like, are you just utensil? Are you?
Okay, yeah. So I'll do. I will just eat it like straight. I do a spoon if it's room temperature, and I do a fork if I froze it.
Oh. Mary, I'm going to do an experiment after we get off this. Because I don't know that I've ever done it frozen, but now I can't think about anything else.
It's like ice cream. It's great, but it's just peanut butter.
Oh, all right. I got to.
You can also put ice cream in the peanut butter.
That I've done. It's smart.
Cool. All right, sick.
But no, I'm going to make a note right now. Like, we're going to throw some peanut butter in the freezer.
Hell yeah. I'm glad I made an impact.
I'm going to report back. I will let you know how that goes. Like, I expect it to be amazing, but like, I'll let you know specifically.
Thank you. I would like to know because I'm invested in it. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. Thank you for being here.
For sure.
Okay. So now we are bringing in a lovely fellow online show host, stand-up comedian, storyteller, middle coat wearer, fellow beanie wearer. I love it. Bethany. Bethany, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I am grand. I am so happy that you're here.
I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy you're wearing this too, so I don't feel insane wearing it in the house. But it's cold in here, and it's now my hairdo, and it's just winter. That's it.
It is. It's winter, and I'm not dealing with my hair right now.
No,
this is just the look.
This hides all the unraveled twists and the knots and the forming dreadlocks. This hides it and it makes it look like, oh, just twist. And then you don't have to see this mess up there.
No. We're cultivating a look. Who cares what it's covering? Not us. Not anybody watching. They don't know.
They don't know. They're never gonna know.
I'm not gonna show them.
It'll be weeks before this needs to come off.
I'm gonna look good the whole time.
You know about the middle coat. Love it.
Yes. So Bethany, tell the good people of this show about the middle coat, because you turned me onto it, or told me something that I had that I did not know what it was classified, and you gave it a name.
You know, this was just a name that popped up. I do have a thing for coats because usually I'm just freezing all the time. So I have a friend who would just make fun of how many coats we had. And I didn't realize I had so many coats until that. But they all serve a purpose, you know. And they don't really matter. I mean, honestly, from November until April, I'm in a full-blown parka, like Arctic weather parka. But there is a coat that I've never had between the coat that I wear in June. I have a June coat. And the coat coming out of cold spring.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never had that coat. I just wear layers and layers and layers and layers. And my sister came over one day, and she had this absolutely perfect weight coat that's between that late spring and the early summer, that coat that you need in there, just for in case it's a little bit chilly, you know. And I said, oh my goodness, you have a middle coat. And it just took off from there. So she got me my own middle coat for Christmas. And now this is pretty much my robe. I just wear it around the house day and night. Like I take it off if I need to leave the house because it's now my house coat. It's like a literal house coat. And I've never been so warm inside the house in my whole entire life. So this is my middle coat, and I'm Bethany, and this is my middle coat.
Well, and I like naming it as an alternative to a robe, because I can't tell you how many times when I've been like in the house in a robe, and then I realize I have to be on a Zoom call, and I'm like, I got to put this robe somewhere, or else people are going to think I've just been lounging, waiting to work. and like forgot I had a robe on. I'm like, I didn't forget I had a robe on. I wanted to wear it.
Like you can't work in a robe.
I'm very productive in a robe. Extremely productive in a robe.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. So, well, I guess the flip side is that people are like, why do you have a coat on in your house? And they think my husband's abusing me. And I'm like, he's not abusing me. He's just white. And the thermostat is down really, really, really low. Mm-hmm. So my middle coat makes me happy. The kids are young, so it's always hot. They're never cold. It's always hot. So this works. That's it.
I feel like you just run hot as a kid. Like, how does that work?
I think they're just metabolizing all the time. Like their brains are learning and they're moving and stuff. And it just feels hot all the time. They always have, it's weird that schools will say, if your kid has a fever of like 100, keep them home. But these kids are always 99. Like there's 100 wouldn't be a fever. They, but we keep them home. We do what we do. We're empathetic people and we support others' health, but they're always warm all the time. And I'm not sure. I remember running for the bus, like when I was late all the time. Mm-hmm. It goes today. And having my coat open and my scarf flailing. So at some point in life, I wasn't cold. Like, I don't know when that changed.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I feel like whenever like friends' kids or like nieces and nephews or whatever, like on me, like they're always very hot. And I'm like, how are you doing that? And I never mind because I'm always cold too. But I'm like, what's your secret? I don't know.
I don't know what it is.
We're not talking about that piece of youth because it's like, oh, we want the energy and like we want like the clear skin. And I'm like, no. You never seem cold, and I want to know how you're doing that.
Give me the heat.
That's what I want.
At night, though, I'm really warm. Mm-hmm. Like if in a bed situation, the other person, who's usually my husband, is very, very, very warm, like too warm. Because as soon as I have a little bit of heat, it's like I use it and I keep it going forever. Mm-hmm. But I need that little bit of heat. I can't get there on my own, but this middle coat and sleeping at night, I can generate it then.
Gotcha. So like you take the assist where you can get it, as we all should.
Yes. What is wrong with that?
I don't know.
That should be a superpower.
We ask for help. We accept it when we get it. Like nothing wrong with that.
Nope. Took a long time though to ask for help. I don't know if you're good at asking for help. I'm not.
No, I'm an older sibling, so no. Atrocious at it.
Is that what it is? Is it an older sibling thing?
It's part of it, as I understand it.
Okay. I didn't know that was a thing. And then there's the, I'll just do it myself. And it's not because I think I do it better. It's just so it will get done. Mm-hmm. Because it not getting done can throw things into disarray. So either do it. Oh my God, if you say you're going to do it, just do it. I don't even want to do anything ever. Just do everything, but do it. That must be an older sibling thing.
It is. So the way that, so I'm a Disney adult. I'll preface that. Like I am a childless adult, but just love Disney things. And like up until very recently, like the go-to Disney quote for that was Sebastian from The Little Mermaid, when at some point he's like, if you want something done right, you've got to do it yourself. And like, even as a kid, I was like, yes, Sebastian, that's how we're doing it. But now, because of Encanto, we have a whole song. Older daughter siblings, we have surface pressure. Yeah. That is us. That's me.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yep. And that's Louisa. Is she the? It's Louisa.
How many times have you watched Encanto in your house? Because I know you have.
Okay. Just one, and you're going to hate me because a few of other people already hate me, but I do love it and it's very beautiful, but the musical aspect of it, like I'm allergic to musicals, and that movie is the most musically of all the Disney movies. So I have to watch it again. I just have to watch it again. I was not expecting it. I'll watch it again and I will, but it was very beautiful. It was stunning.
So I'm going to put in a brief plug for Bethany's show on Wednesday nights on Instagram Live. And in her last show, she did talk about this, not being a musical person. I am very much a musical person.
Okay.
So
all right.
And the benefit of having Instagram Live is like you can just say it. I'm gonna react and you can't hear me, but I was like, like an
You're like,
audible
I
shock.
thought we were cool, but now we're not.
I love musicals. So, and I mean, Encanto is a Lin-Manuel Miranda thing, and like music is today's his birthday. In the highly unlikely event he's watching, Cumpleaños Sachi, Lin-Manuel Miranda. But yeah, he like that's his thing. Like he does musicals.
So, like Vivo, did you see Vivo on Netflix?
I liked Vivo way more than I thought I would.
Me too. I thought it was just going to be corny and fine, but I liked it a lot. And so I don't know what it is. I feel like what are your favorite musicals?
So we were a Sound of Music household, largely because my mother on the face of this earth likes like 6 movies. And there are so many more than 6 movies in the world, but my mom only likes like 6. And The Sound of Music is one of them. So we used to watch it a lot. So I like Sound of Music a lot.
I also like Sound of Music.
An American in Paris is my favorite movie. So Gene Kelly, Leslie Caron, 1951, I believe.
Okay. I liked those kind of movies.
Yeah.
I liked those kind of musicals, yes.
But like we're struggling with the modern musical is not as consistent. So like talking to people about musicals and they're like, you're going to love La La Land. Oh, I hated La La Land.
I did not like that movie. It drove me crazy.
We're right on that. We're right.
And would you call Moana a musical? I wouldn't call it. You would?
I would, but it's not
okay,
like
I love Moana.
It's not dense musical in the sense that like there aren't as many songs and like it isn't like a Hamilton where like the whole thing is songs, but there are like enough songs in it for it to be a musical.
Okay. I think what it is that I feel like in Moana, yes, the songs tell you one of the characters' character.
Mm-hmm.
You could still take this music out, the songs out, which you should never do, but you could take them out and still watch the movie.
Yes, you could.
I feel like Encanto, you couldn't understand the movie if you took the songs out because the songs are driving the story forward. And I think that's where I cut off with the musicals. Like if the musical is a nice exclamation point to the premise or the thing that just happens or whatever, then I think I definitely can deal with that. But I don't know, it's that bursting into song all the time that I couldn't deal with it. Like Hamilton was fine because I knew what was coming. And it was so unusual. I'd never seen anything like it. And I also saw it on Disney. I saw it on TV. But like, for example, there was this guy I dated one time. He was very nice and he was very smart. And we used to do the Sunday New York Times crossword puzzle together. Like he was like him.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. And he took me to see Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat. And I was like, this isn't going to work.
That's a tougher one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel that. Yeah. That's a tougher one. And then, and let's see, Joseph, is that Andrew Lloyd Webber? Do you know?
I think it is. Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, someone in the comments, let us know if I'm wrong, but I think, because his are like a whole other thing.
Yeah.
So like stylistically, that's hard.
I'm trying to think of other musicals I have liked. I liked all the old ones, all the ones you named.
Mm-hmm.
Wizard of Oz, that's a musical, right?
I think so, yeah.
I love The Wiz.
The Wiz is great.
Yeah, I love The Wiz. I like, I don't know, maybe I don't like anime. I'm just going to watch Encanto again. I'm just going to watch it again.
Okay.
And the next time you see me, I'll be changed. I'll probably love it.
Okay.
I don't not love it. I don't not like it. I just was like, ah. And then
if you don't know what's coming, then like that can be kind of a lot. I get that.
But thank you, Lin-Manuel. I'm going to watch In the Heights, and I think I'm going to like that because I know what's coming. I know this is coming.
I liked it. I thought it was good. I think I saw it 2 times. 2 times. Yeah, I saw it twice.
I have a partner who will not rewatch things, which is insane because before we were together, I didn't see a movie unless I saw it 3 times. Like I don't feel like I have seen it until I've seen it several times. Like I saw I remember the first movie I went to see on my own.
Mm-hmm.
There was a little movie theater down the street where the movies were like $2.50. They were like fourth run. They were so far gone from the world by the time they came here. I saw The Jerk like 11 times.
Ooh,
And
that's a good, and that rewards multiple viewings.
oh
It
yes.
does.
And anybody, you know, if I was like, oh my God, have you seen The Jerk? And you said no, I'd be like, what? And then would go see The Jerk.
Mm-hmm.
So I see movies like a billion times. So just seeing things once is kind of driving me crazy. I'm really happy the kids came along and they took my side because we could just watch Moana 25 times. And it's not me, it's the kids. But I will watch Encanto again for sure.
Okay. I'll check in with you, see how the second viewing goes.
Okay.
Now, in terms of snacks, let's get into snacks. And like, you have the benefit of having like, I don't know, adult food at your house, but also like kid food and whatever. So like, what's going on in kids' snacks? What are they eating? What are they making for them?
We're an evil household and we don't have a lot of processed food snacks. And so I've been told by my mother-in-law that I'm evil and I'm not allowing my children to have their childhood. But we do like some processed food snacks, right? Like we have chips, of course, you gotta have chips. But we do like lots of nuts and I cook a lot and I bake a lot. So snacks like that. Like they'll go, I want Cheez-Its. And I'll look at the ingredients and I'll be like, it's all chemicals except for one thing. But let's make Cheez-Its and see what happens. And so we end up making stuff that they want. And here is, you can use this, all right, with children. You want it, you have to help me make it, which definitely cuts down the amount of times that they want Cheez-Its. But anyway, they're very tasty without all the chemicals. We would get like breakfast bar type things. I like those, but then I'm having all this dental work done and like all those little seeds stick everywhere. I'm not supposed to do that apparently. Homemade Cheez-Its are amazing. You could just Google it. Someone in the comments said, I just Googled a recipe. They're really not that hard. You make a certain, like a dough that kind of reminds me of like a cheesy sort of pie crust. Yeah. You roll it out, you cut it into squares, and you bake it for a very short amount of time, and they're delicious. They don't keep well, but you wouldn't want to keep them anyway. You eat the whole thing.
Yeah, anytime I made some version of it, I was just like, these are going to last me all week, a day and a half, maybe.
But you don't feel as bad, right? Because you're like, I just ate some ingredients that were in my fridge, right? Exactly. I don't know. I eat a lot of nuts. That's my go-to snack, because I eat a ton of nuts. I used to work in a bakery, and we used to, have to bake off pecans, almonds, and walnuts. And I would had to bake like an extra tray because I'd eat all of them. I love a well-roasted, almost burnt nut.
Okay.
Is the same as like chips to me. Like I could eat them forever and ever and ever. Yeah.
I like that.
So you put like pecans. I don't know if you like pecans. If you put them in the oven at like 400 for like 15 minutes and just shake them up. Oh my gosh, you pop them in your mouth and they're just, you can't stop eating it, and they're good for your brain too.
I like that. And yeah. I like the idea of being able to eat enough of them and just being like, everyone's brains are shot to hell after the last 2 years. This is rehabilitation.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah, there you go. It's like PT for your head.
Perfect.
Which, if it affects my cholesterol, is how I will explain it to my doctor.
Oh God, they do have a lot of cholesterol, don't they? I don't know.
I think it depends on the nut. I'll look into it.
All right.
Okay, I think we are at time. But if you love conversations like this, if you had fun watching us, Bethany does this on Instagram. You have a show on Wednesday. Who's going to be on that one?
Ophira Eisenberg, Gabe Pacheco, Kendra Dawsey, and there is definitely one more person.
Oh, there is, and I looked at it earlier. Now I don't remember.
I literally can't remember anything. I don't know. So, Tom Crowley.
Excellent.
Tom Crowley, who does Mendoza Line now.
Yes. All right.
And
So
used to
I'm
be
gonna-
comedy, right? You're gonna do it too. You're gonna do it before we get out of this thing, right? How long are you doing your online show?
so next week is on the record, the last one. And then
Okay.
if we decide to add in other ones as a bonus, it'll be like bonus episodes after a limited series comes out. Who knows?
Nice. I
But
love it.
so at least 4, but also whenever I feel like it, / when lovely people are willing to give me their time to do it.
Hey.
Well,
Well,
thank you so much
for
for
having
being
me. Thank you
so
so
happy
much.
you came. And I will see you, well, you'll see me in the comments on Wednesday.
Yay. Thank you. Happy snacking.
You too. Always a pleasure to get to chat with Bethany. And now we just have another mom on the show, which I don't think I've ever had 2 moms on the show. But Hollie, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I am grand, and I am so grand because you're also here with me. So Hollie does American Candy, which is a sketch show that she did for a while. She also had a late night show on Brick TV over the summer that was so much fun and fantastic at stand up. Always so much fun to watch. So I'm very excited that you're going to get to share that with everybody here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Amma. Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? I am Hollie. I like Bethany. I'm a mom, so that means I drink. That's what that means. Not really a joke attached to that. But like seriously, okay. All right. I have 2 kids. I have my daughter is going to be 15 in a week, and I have a 9-year-old son. And I am so scared that like the COVID Omarion strand is going to yes, Omarion from BTK. That's going to shut us down again. Because that remote learning, you guys, that was trash. All right, those kids didn't learn shit. All right, that was a lost year. All those kids learned is that the wheels of America fall off very fast. Okay, very quickly. Wheels made of Tinker Toys. All right, because like here's the thing for me. Like I can't educate my kids past the 3rd grade. All right, that's the state's job. Are you smarter than a 5th grader? Hell no. 5th graders be knowing. All right. So like my son, he's 9. Last year was his 3rd grade. So it was just like a year of like, my son is watching me. It was just a year of like slow disappointment for him. You know what I mean? Because like when he comes to me and he's like, Mama, what's 2 + 2? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I'm not done yet. He's like, times 4. I was like, yeah, I'm not done yet. He's like, divided by 9. I was like, okay. He's like, I'm not done yet. Times 2.4953. What is that, Mama? What's that? I'm like, that is just a mojito. Okay. Because that's all I see is alcohol coming at my face with these questions. Oh, I can't. Please, no more remote learning. Please, no more. So I am also a married lady. I've been married for 23 years. Okay. I can feel you clapping. Don't clap. They give less time for murder. Okay. Seriously. Like I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm not like happy. I'm not like a newlywed. Like, oh my God, I'm getting pounded. Like, no, I have respectable traffic going on down there. Okay. And it's funny because like the other day, or 5 years ago, it's all the same with marriage. It's a loop. My husband and I, we were watching this movie called The Vow. And I don't know if any of y'all have seen this movie called The Vow. It's got Channing Tatum, Rachel McAdams. It's like 10 years old. They're like this young married couple. They're all in love. And then like she's in a car accident and she hits her head. So then she has amnesia. 5 people in America have amnesia. She's one of them. Fine. But like now the whole thing is he has to reintroduce her to herself. Like this used to be you. And I'm looking at this movie and I'm looking at my husband on the couch next to me. And I'm like, I think this man would totally use this as a reset button. You know, like how many of you guys, partners, spouses, whatever you got, would not reset you a good 15-75%? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm serious. Like I could just see my husband. He would be like, baby, cooking and cleaning. That was your whole thing, girl. That was your whole thing. Scrub, scrub, scrub. All right. Sex every night. Used to choke on it, girl. We used to share everything: food, money, your hot friend Tasha, everything. Everything. Every time I say that joke on my husband, I'm like, "What do you do that?" Okay, so I do CrossFit. I'm one of those CrossFit moms. Before I did CrossFit, I used to belong to Planet Fitness, and I quit Planet Fitness because I value myself. Okay, like $10 a month says way more about me and how I'm living than it ever says about Planet Fitness. There were so many cheap things. There's so many things. And like the thing that like completely just pushed me over the edge was one night I'm in a locker room, I'm in the shower after working out, obviously butt naked, and the whole place went pitch black. Yeah. Like I like instantly started crying. I was just like, oh my God, this is how it goes down in prison. And like my whole ass, all 3 holes just shut down like, all right. And when I told my husband this story, he was like, there's 3 holes. Like, yes, there's 3 holes. You just hit the wrong 2 from time to time, but there's 3. There's 3 there. Okay. Oh God. Speaking of holes, such a classy segue. I was reading a Psychology Today magazine the other day, and there was this article about this team of French doctors that constructed a vagina for a woman who was born without one. Okay. Texas would call them useless. Okay. But like right away, like a couple things went through my head. They constructed this vagina. I'm reading, they constructed it out of tilapia. Okay. Right. Sounds fishy. And I thought to myself, I thought we weren't supposed to eat tilapia anymore. Like I thought that was the bad fish. I don't know about y'all. Like how many of y'all got like that aunt from that, you got that crazy email from that aunt who was like, don't eat the tilapia, tell their farm. Maybe you didn't get the email because you are the crazy aunt. I don't know. But like I thought we weren't supposed to eat tilapia. I thought that was out. And then another thing that went through my head, I was like, okay, so they're just giving coochies out now? Like they're just gifting it? Like this is an edible arrangement? Because like real talk, the kids broke this one. All right, just busted it down. 15 years ago, I was in a delivery room for the first time, and like the doctors, one doctor, my husband, and the nurse, everybody was like, Hollie, push, push, push. And I was like, and all of a sudden, I just heard like, shh. And I was like, what was that sound? And the doctor was like, that was your vagina. Yeah. And my husband had a mirror. He just like backed away, like, oh my God, no. Oh my God. And the doctor looked up at me and he was like, it's okay. I sew you up nice and tight. Okay. He said it to me, but he looked at my husband. He was like, I sew you up nice and tight. Okay. Let me tell y'all, I could be real with y'all, right? I can be real with y'all. This man sewed me up so tight that for 4 years after I had my daughter, when I opened my legs, you could hear Itsy Bitsy Spider. Okay. Because he gave me the Woody Allen special. He did. Like, the one that takes you up in the attic and makes his finger disappear. Yeah. All right. Too soon. Always too soon. Rough joke. But yeah, that's what he gave me. That's what the doctor gave me. He gave me that kind of puss. He did. Oh God. Oh God. I, as a mom, I tried to be that perfect mom. There's really no way to be a perfect mom. I tried so hard and it all came crumbling down one day. My daughter was 1, okay? And I was obsessed with getting her to story time at the library. Like I was like, she's got to get her shapes, her numbers, and her colors, or she's going to be a hooker. You know what I mean? Like that was my thinking. You know what I mean? So I was like, I got to get her to story time. All around the city at 10:30, every library, they have story time. Now, my daughter had been going through a change in nap times. All right. So I had been up for 2 days. Now I'm loopy. I'm like kind of crazy. My daughter, she's knocked out of sleep. I should have been sleeping next to her, but no, I make things difficult for myself. I was like, I'm going to dress her I'm just gonna race to the library. Now, anybody here who's ever dressed a sleeping baby, Bethany, you have baby, you know how hard this is. When you dress a sleeping baby, it's like dressing, it's like Weekend at Bernie's. Okay, it's BS. It's like dressing a log. It's like dressing a log. Okay, so I dressed my little African American log and I put her in a McLaren and like off we go down the street. I got 3 minutes to make it to the library. Okay, I got 11 blocks, but like, no, I could smoke that. I could do that. I'm burning rubber, running. 10:27, 10:28, 10:29. Finally, it's 10:29 and a half, and I'm rolling up on the library. And I was like, yes, girl, yes, you are that mom. Yes, girl. And they're singing, the wheels on the bus go round and round. And I was like, hey, like, we did it. And I get in there, and I get to the door, and I can see like my mom homies on the other side of the door be like, hey, girl. And then this bitch comes to the door, and she's like, I'm sorry, we're at capacity. And she just shuts the door right in my face. And I was like, whoo, like white, hot anger, like, whoo, like hard, like storm the Capitol, January 6th, domestic terrorism anger went through me. Like anger, like I believe the lie. Like, whoo. And I was like, girl, don't cry in public. Just get yourself out of there. Get yourself out of there. So I take the stroller and I leave. And I'm walking down the street and I'm imagining all the ways this bitch could die. Because that's like how I make myself feel better. Don't judge me, okay? I'm like, she could die in a fire. This bitch could die in a fried chicken accident. She could be attacked by wolves. You know what I mean? Just really crazy stuff. And all of a sudden, I'm like, God, this stroller feels funny. And I look down and it's not my stroller. And I pull the awning back and it's not my kid. And I was just like, ah! Oh my God! Like, you stole a kid from the library. And then I'm looking at him and like, you know, he's this little white boy. He's cute. He's fine. I have a little black girl. Like, he's the opposite of my daughter. You know what I mean? And then it hits me. You stole a white child from the, and I was like, oh God, no, like, you can't steal no white child in this country. This is America, bitch. They look for white kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, your little black baby could be missing 9 months old. They'd be like, that little bitch ran away. But we gonna look for Gabby Petito. You know what I'm saying? Like, they look for that girl on the other planets. All right. So I know my ass is going to jail. I'm racing back to the library, thinking there's gonna be a SWAT team. No one is looking for this kid. All right. They're on another verse of the wheels on the bus. All right. They're on the 5th or 6th verse. I look through the double doors. I see my daughter. She's just knocked out asleep. And I roll up in there and I push this little kid, Wolfie Brandon. I don't know what this kid's name is. I don't know. I push him in and I take my daughter and I jet up out of there. And I cried the whole way home. I cried the whole way home because I was like, Holly, God has blessed you with a child. Blessed you with a child. People all over the world paying millions of dollars to have a baby when all they had to do was steal one from the library. And that is my time. I'm Hollie Harper. Thank you so much.
Stole a baby from the library. Let me tell you what, the next time they send me like my overdue library notices and they're like, you gotta bring this book back, I'll be like, it could have been worse. Calm down.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let them get an attitude with me.
No, don't pay no fees. They be taking kids. Don't pay fees.
That is, I'd never heard that story from you before. That is fantastic.
Girl, I didn't even tell my husband for like 2 weeks. We were like watching a movie on the couch because that's what we do. It was like 2 weeks later, like a couple glasses of wine, and I was like, "Oh my God, you know what's crazy? I kind of stole a kid from the library." He was like, "What?"
Oh gosh.
So there's some white boys, a teenager about 15 years old in Brooklyn. He could be anywhere, Brooklyn, anywhere in the world. He don't know he was mine for about 15 minutes. He doesn't know.
And he probably gets like weird vibes when he goes to the library and has no idea why.
Yes, he has no idea why he looks at black women. He feels a little fear.
He's like, what is this feeling?
What is this fear feeling?
And then
I'm comforted, but I'm scared at the same time.
And one day he'll find this and he will just know.
He'll be like, it was you. Wolfie gonna come get me one day.
Yeah, it might happen. I mean, I'd watch that Lifetime movie. It's coming. Would. All right, so let's turn to snacks. the main
Okay.
event, so to speak. What take do you want to share with the people?
Okay. All right. If I'm doing really well, I mean, one of these. Okay, I work out. I'm always trying to watch my weight. I mean, it's a losing battle, but yeah, I'm trying to hang on. You know,
We do what we can.
we do what we can. If I'm really good and feeling holistic about myself, I'll just take strawberries and I slice them and I put them in the oven for about 15 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and it caramelizes them, and it's really good.
Ooh.
Really, and if you could put some sugar-free whipped cream on it, it feels really kind of pornographic. Like it really does. But like, like when the hot hits the cold, it's just a thing. But like
Sounds good.
if I'm waking up and choosing violence, like I sweet potato pie,
Mm-hmm.
piping hot with just a dollop of vanilla ice cream on. But you gotta watch the hot hit the cold. That's where the porn is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like
That's the money shot.
That's the money shot, and you see it, and you eat that. I got so fat off of grief, sweet potato pie. I was eating like about a half a pie a night. I used to work at a soul food restaurant, and I noticed that they were throwing when the pie would get to like half or a little, they would throw it out.
Mm.
They would throw it out.
Nope.
I was like, I will take these off your hands. I was eating a pie a night, like a half a pie a night. I got so fat. And then I had to go back to my strawberries. So,
Well, I'm glad you have like a move for every occasion. Because like sometimes
Yeah.
it gets you in trouble. Like if you don't have an alternative,
yes,
then you
you
start
have
to struggle
to.
a little bit.
Yeah, like I keep pistachios in my bag just so I won't get a box of chicken. Like, because I will do that. I'll get a fish fry box or a fried chicken box. But if I keep pistachio, I just have to keep something on me that doesn't choose violence. You know what I'm saying?
It's like having a plan keeps you
Mhm.
from that moment where you like having to scramble is where you tend to have trouble.
Yeah,
Right. So it's like it keeps you in line,
Absolutely.
so to speak.
absolutely.
I feel that.
I want to get to the place where water is my snack. I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
I don't think that's a place. And I don't think the people that do say that that's their place, like they're not happy.
They're lying. They're like one breakup away from just mowing through a Piggly Wiggly. Like they really are. They're just one breakup away. They don't know how close they are.
No, it's like it's a nice idea, but I don't believe in it. I don't.
I know. Like I did intermittent fasting and I lost weight that way. But do you know how hard it is to stop eating after 5 o'clock in the afternoon?
Yeah.
Like you can only eat between 9 and 5. It's and if you're a comic and you're at clubs, like you're out till midnight, 1, 2, like you're not gonna eat. Like, yeah,
Yeah, like
it's rough.
if you finish eating at 5 and can go to bed at like 7:30, great. That solves the problem right there. But like if you're up until 11, it's like, well, what else am I supposed to be doing?
I know, like I never forget one day I ate at 5 and I was like, maybe I should just go to bed. It's 5:30, like the day's over, there's no more food.
Yep. It's like, time for bed. Food's out. I'm out too. All right. Well, Holly, always a pleasure. I hope I get to see you soon. And I hope that Omarion does not ruin any more of our plans because I'm trying to come hang out.
He is ruining our plans. And Emma, I think the world of you. I think you're amazing. I think you're so funny.
Thank
I love this show idea. And I just think that you are really one of the most talented comics out there. And I really appreciate you having me on your show. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for being here. I'll see you soon.
Yes.
All right. So we are almost at the end. We have a fantastic final comic joining us. Emily.
Hi. How are you, my friend? Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to see you.
I'm so excited to see you. I did not know you are a Disney adult.
I am a Disney adult. Like this period since the pandemic. I went in December 2019.
Yep.
And like this is the longest I've gone without going in like a decade. And I am having a hard time.
I'm so sorry you missed Food and Wine. That's a rough
Food and
trip.
Wine's my favorite time of the year to go. And
I went in the fall. I went to Disney once I went for Flower and Garden
Great,
in May of
also.
2019. And then I had a trip in November. I tried to go to London and Paris twice, and it just kept getting canceled because like we'd book when like cases are going down, and then be like, surprise, you don't get to go.
Yep.
So my friend and I went to Seattle, and like for a week we're going to Seattle and Portland. Like the day we got there, she got a call that her uncle, who's also her godfather, had died. So we had to fly home. And I was just like, I am stressed. And it was like a dip in cases. And I was like, fuck this. I have the vacation time. I flew back to Boston. And then I went to his wake. And then the next day I got on a flight to Orlando and I went to Disney by myself. I was like, I don't care. I have to, I have the vacation time and I'm just going. And it was like super cheap because it was like the week of Halloween, like right before the week before Halloween. Everybody went like that next week.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got it like super cheap. I stayed at the Swan and Dolphin.
Oh gosh.
I had a nice little time. And I went to Food and Wine, and it was I never went to Disney as a kid. Like as an adult, I've gone twice and I've been like, this is a good time.
Yeah, I haven't gone with kids in like 12 years.
No, it sounds like a bad way to go with kids. They're a lot.
Like, I'm not universally against it, but like literally one point like 5 years ago I went and like was doing something and then just like turned around. I'm like, there are a lot of kids here. And I was like, you know what? like stop. Think about who you are and what you're doing. But like, it's just a weird thing to say at Disney, but like, that's how I've been experiencing it for so long that like, it felt weird that children were where I like to hang out.
Yes. I never even thought about that one. You're right. You're like, I don't usually hang out with this many kids, but like, there's a lot of them here at Disney.
Yep. Well, now I feel compelled to give you the choice. Do you want to do time or do you want to just talk about Disney for 15
Can we talk about, I would love to just talk about Disney with you if that's okay.
Absolutely.
What a time. Chef's kiss. And I didn't expect, my family were never like, we drove everywhere for vacations. So the furthest we ever went was, we took like a couple cruises to Bermuda because you could go out of Boston.
Yeah.
And then we would do we drove to Colonial Williamsburg, but we never flew because my sister was afraid of flying and my parents were like, whatever, we'll just drive everywhere for vacation. And Florida was too far to drive. And so I never got to go. And then as an adult, I was like, fuck it. I'm going to go and see what this is all about. And I was like, what have I been doing? This is so fun. Did you always go since you were a kid?
So I grew up in Florida. I grew up in Tampa, which is like an hour and a half. But we went to Universal more because my mom was not a Disney person. She was more like, because Universal has stuff that like you could walk around or you could like sit and experience stuff, but you don't have to go on rides. And she's not a rides person. So we went a couple times as kids, but like that wasn't always the move. And then
you were a Universal family. I get it.
We were. And then like I went to Rhode Island for college, moved back to Florida for grad school. And like I had a ton of friends who weren't from Florida who always wanted to go. So for like 2 years, like I went like every other weekend. Like we had passes to the point where like sometimes if we just had like a rough day in class, we're like, you guys want to go see fireworks? Like, just whoever had like work last, and then we would like go see fireworks, drive an hour, and then go home. So like I got used to going a lot.
Right.
And, like Food and Wine. I'm glad you got to do Food and Wine because it is my favorite time of year to go.
So good. What a treat. So what a delight. Man. I think every town should have just like international food huts where you could just go and get like raclette and poutine and like empanada. Like you should just be able to walk around and just be like, thank you, thank you, thank you. Like that's the
it's a dream. And like I don't have time to tell it now, but there is like a long story there is a joke version of it, but there's also like a story of how one of my friends was almost the first emergency transport of that year's Food and Wine Festival. Because if you go too hard with the wine, it will cause problems.
Oh yeah, because it's hot. I think that's what I went too hard with the food at Flower and Garden. I was a rookie. The first time I went, I'd watched like do you watch DFB Guide and All Ears and the?
Oh yeah,
of course. What am I talking like? That was rude of me to even ask.
No worries.
So I watched All Ears and DFB Guide, and I was like, okay, here's what I'm gonna hit. And I have a friend who had moved down there, so she was like, here's what we're gonna hit. And I'd overscheduled myself, and I've done this both times I've gone. I did 4 parks in 2 days the first time I went, which was too much.
It is doable, but you don't enjoy anything.
It's not enjoyable. Yes, exactly. You can check things off the list. It's doable, but not enjoyable. That's exactly right. Yeah. So we got to Epcot at like 7 p.m. or something. And I was I stayed at Port Orleans French Quarter.
Oh,
beautiful. Beautiful. I ate beignets as soon as I got there. I was like, I'm never leaving. So I got to Epcot. I had the extra magic hours. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to run around. So we started, and some people start Canada. I think some people start Mexico. We started Mexico, we went around. I hit the Germany pavilion for this bread and cheese and bacon thing. And then immediately after that hit Italy for gelato.
Yeah.
And then immediately after that, hit Morocco for fried spiced cauliflower. And then raced to England for the bathrooms. And I missed the entire Harmonious fireworks show in the bathroom because I had eaten cheese bacon bread immediately followed by cold dairy and then fried food, and I came out of the bathroom like green, and my friend was like, did you have a nice time here today? And I was like, it was great. I'm so glad we came here. So I went the other way. I started in Canada when I went this time, and I was like, this like clockwise did not serve me well. We're counterclockwise it this time, and it worked out.
Well, and I don't know that you could even start the same way after you have an experience like that. Like, I feel like the body keeps the score and all that. So like you start and you're just like, just like it doesn't.
Trauma involved. The body does keep the score.
Exactly.
Yeah, I skipped every one of those booths this year. I didn't even. Who would have thought gelato not a great second course?
I don't know. It's definitely something where if you do it a very specific way one time, like,
oh my God, I don't know what, and and it was late May, which is a beautiful time to go, but it was hot, and I didn't know yet. I hadn't learned about the Fast Pass well, so I waited like an hour and a half in line for Splash Mountain, which, by the way, I tacked on this trip to another trip. I have a friend who moved. She bought like an old dilapidated mansion, very fancy Reba McEntire, Georgia mansion. But it was like, they're super cheap in this town in rural Georgia because nobody wants to live there. It was the mansions are dilapidated. So she was like, I'm going to buy this and fix it up. And there's like a little pocket of people from Boston who like moved to Eatonton, Georgia. And so I went, and I didn't know it's the home of Joel Chandler Harris. So there was like Brer Rabbit stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
And then I didn't know anything about Splash Mountain. So I go right from Eatonton, Georgia to Orlando, and I get on Splash Mountain, and I was like, how did I accidentally take a racism themed vacation? Like, why is Brer Rabbit just everywhere in the South? What is happening?
And it's a wild thing. So they're fixing this now, finally.
Yes, it's gonna be Princess and the Frog.
Yes, but like it's a wild thing to have your flagship attraction based on a movie that you as a company will not let people see.
Yes,
and I've seen it. So like years ago, I had gone on vacation. My parents were living in Kenya, and like it was literally a week before Netflix was available in Africa. Like we were leaving, and they're like, "Hey, you could access your Netflix account from," and I was like, "It's too late." I've been looking at stuff on YouTube for weeks, but Song of the South was like on YouTube in full on like some channel that you can't access in the US. So I saw it. It's not great.
No,
and like I get why they're not letting us watch it, but then I was like, if you don't want it that badly, why is the ride big?
Yeah. I wrote a joke about it after I came home. I haven't told it in a while, but in the joke, like you would think like this for something to be too racist for Disney, like that's a bar for Disney to be like, we're not okay with this. And the fact that like somebody at Disney, so some people at Disney were like, take this out of the vault. Like, no one can see this. Not on streaming, not available anywhere. Get it out of our history. And someone else saw that movie and was like, signature ride.
Yeah, like
the flag, the attraction. Yeah.
The thing of that park.
And it's a long ride, too. You're on it. It's like a 10-minute journey of a ride.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this is, wow. I was like, how did I accidentally take a Brer Rabbit vacation? This is so bizarre. Like, this is the weirdest thing. Like,
that's going to be a hard thing to live down, Emily.
It was weird. I was like, this was not, I don't like this. Like, when are they changing this ride? I also was like, I'm very excited it's going to be Princess and the Frog.
Yep.
I don't understand how in the 90s they didn't make it. And even this movie, like, again, not great. Arguably probably better than Song of the South. But I was like, why didn't they make this a Pocahontas ride? That was a hugely popular movie.
Yeah.
It would have, like, she has in the signature song of the movie, she jumps off a waterfall.
Yep. Yep.
But, I mean,
or like Rescuers, or not
Rescuers
Down Under.
Rescuers, that would have been great.
And like that came out around the time that was being debuted as a ride. So like,
yeah, there are so many other things so many other choices they could have made.
Exactly.
Song of the South. Like, wow. Okay. It's like Disney lets you know, like, there's some things about it that you're like, what a magical, fantastical, beautiful place. And then there's things that creep in that you're like, Disney's kind of fucked up. And you're like, oh, I forgot. Yep. It sure is.
But like,
fucked up.
And then there's like really loved properties that have like no rides at all. Like no one is offended by Robin Hood. It's great. People love Robin Hood. No presents in the parks. Why?
I don't understand. And also Brave there's no Brave anything.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a great movie.
Yeah. Like
there's a lot that I'm like, why not this one? I'm super excited to see Princess Tiana and to have that, because they don't have a New Orleans Square. They do in Disneyland, but not in Disney World. They have the beautiful French Quarter Resort, which wasn't it good? Again, Disney, wasn't it going to be like a plantation themed resort, and then they switched it? Like, what? Who was running there?
Yeah, like they had to go pretty far down the road before they turned around.
I know.
Who let him out of the garage? Same driveway.
Turn around. Okay.
Recalculate that route before you set out on the road. Like, come on.
I have hopes for Epcot. Speaking of, you and Bethany were talking about Encanto. Oh my God. Part of Encanto that I love too. So so my day job, I'm a social worker. Yep. So, and I do therapy and working with families. So I was like, oh my God, the generational trauma. Yeah. Like I was just like losing my mind. I was like, this is so beautifully done. Like lost my mind about Encanto. Loved it so much. But between Encanto and Coco, Disney just wants to make me cry fucking all the time. Like their new thing is like, how much can we make Emily just totally waterfall the whole time, right?
I still remember my sister called. So I was coming out of Kenmore Station. Like I think I had to go somewhere in Fenway, and my phone rings, and I pick it up. It's my sister sobbing. So like I freak out because I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? She's like, I just left Coco. You have to go. And I was like, you can't start a call crying. Maybe that's something you text. You scared the shit out of me.
You're like, I need to not have a heart attack in the T station. Did someone die? What's happening?
Exactly. She's like, you have to go. And I was like, I will, but you've handled this so poorly. And she was right. Like, saw it, sobbed. And then like the next day, like I went to the library in Copley to go do work. So I was still working from home, but like needed to leave the house. And like had the music on. Not even consciously listening. And then like I was typing something and just started sobbing. And I was like, what's going on with me? And then I checked the song and I was like, oh, it's the music. Just doing its work. I didn't even realize I was listening.
If Disney does not, because, so the Mexico Pavilion is really a showstopper in Epcot. It's just, as soon as you walk inside, the fact that it's like nighttime all the time, it's so beautiful. The Three Caballeros ride is weak as fuck. With Coco and now Encanto, they're just such visually beautiful films.
Yeah.
Like they have to change that boat ride to either a Coco or Encanto themed, right? They must.
So
They must, I insist.
between the fact that Coco is so dominant as a property and
Yes.
the fact that those are based on propaganda films that were made by them in conjunction with the Latin American government, like maybe we
Right.
don't keep that part of the history in a ride. Like maybe it's in the pavilion somewhere and you're like,
Sure.
this is the thing that we did, but the ride doesn't have to be that.
Yeah, here's Donald in a sombrero on a balcony.
And
Like,
here's why he has one.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
sometimes you're like, why does he have one? Here's why.
Here's why.
But also,
But also, it doesn't
like
need to be
these
a whole
television
ride.
shows.
Here's the beautiful orange flower bridge to the land of the dead. Prepare to cry your eyes out. It's so beautiful. Like, you can't, like, please change those. We need a Coco ride or an Encanto ride. We need the Mexico Pavilion has to have a better ride.
Agreed. Well, I think we've done some great work here today. Some good Disney
I really think
consulting.
we have.
I'm going to write
Everybody,
these notes down.
when it is safe, take a trip to Disney, eat your way through Epcot. But again, gelato, everybody, is last.
Yep.
Gelato is last, guys. Public service announcement. You're welcome. And the best bathrooms are in England. So, in case you mess up the gelato order, that's where you go.
If you time it poorly, that's how you fix
It's the problem. There you go.
the-
Exactly.
Now, is that the food take that you would like to leave on, or would you like an additional?
I thought we were doing show and tell. So, like, Mary, I brought my snacks to show you. My number one snack of all time. Like
Yep.
I'm a cheese girl as well. And I'm very brand specific about my string cheese. It's the Polio string cheese.
They do excellent work.
Always, they're just one. My favorite string cheese is this. And then I also was at Wegmans earlier today, and the Hello Panda chocolate cookies are incredible. They're filled with like a Nutella consistency chocolate fudge, and the outside is like flaky, crispy wafer, and they're wonderful.
So when I was a kid, they had a version of those that was koalas, and the box was green. Do you remember
Ooh.
those?
No.
I think it was called Koala Yummies, and they had ones like that, and there was like a chocolate one, and there was a strawberry one. Someone
Yeah,
in the
these
chat,
have
if you
strawberry
remember
too.
them,
They must. Yep.
please affirm me, so I know I'm not.
You're not
crazy.
crazy. Yeah, these have those flavors. I think there's like a green tea one, a strawberry, and then the chocolate. So, yep. I got these at Wegmans. They're
I haven't
so
thought
good.
about those in. Oh, I just had like a very vivid like taste memory.
Right,
Like,
the flaky, crispy outside, and the biscuit itself is not super sweet, so you get that nice juxtaposition.
it lets the
lovely-
inside sing.
It really does. It really does. You're right.
It's a balanced.
So we got a
treat.
balance here. We got a savory, and we got a like crispy, flaky, sweet. Whatever you're fancy, guys. We've talked so much about food. You got to get yourself a snack now. So you don't have to do a tour of Epcot. You can do a tour of your fridge and pantry.
There
Bon
you
appetit.
go. That's all the touring we should be doing for the time being. But
Yeah,
one
that's
day,
the
you will get to
safest
tour the
touring.
world again,
Yes,
both literally and within the context of the World Showcase.
exactly.
This was fun. I'm so glad we got to chat about this. Literally anytime you want, text me, message me. I will talk about Disney with any adult you want to.
Yes. I had a great time with you. Thank you so much for having me. This has been such a fun show to watch. I loved it.
My pleasure. Thank you, Emily.
Thanks. Bye.
Well, that is our show. That is Pantry Raid. We have one more of these next week, and then we'll see about other ones that pop up as the spirit moves us, as the pandemic moves us, indoors, outdoors, wherever we land. But for now, thank you all so much for being here. Have a snack before bed. You have my permission. Enjoy the rest of the evening, and I will see you next week.